static friction, stuck shoes, and spiritual stagnation. Have you ever tried to push a heavy couch across the living room only to realize it doesn't move a single inch? You lean into it, grunt like you're lifting a mountain, and yet, nothing. That stubbornness is not just the couch's weight, it's static friction, the physics equivalent of life saying, "Not so fast." Before anything moves, static friction digs in its heels and resists with all its strength. And let's be honest, life feels like that sometimes. You're praying, hustling, trying to get a fresh start, but everything feels stuck. That's not just your imagination. It's the spiritual version of static friction, where invisible resistance keeps you rooted to one spot. Now let's break this down in plain physics. Static friction is the force that keeps objects at rest until enough external push overcomes it. It doesn't matter how badly you want that object to move. Unless the applied force exceeds static friction, it will stay where it is. The formula looks something like this. F is less than or equal to mu sub s n, where mu sub s is the coefficient of static friction, and n is the normal force pressing down. Don't worry, you don't need to memorize that. Just know this. Static friction always resists your first step, but once you cross its threshold, things start sliding. Funny enough, it's often easier to keep something moving than it is to get it moving in the first place. Sound familiar spiritually? The devil doesn't need to scare you with monsters under the bed or lightning bolts from the sky. He just needs to keep you from moving at all. Static friction is the enemy of momentum. If he can trap you in fear, shame, doubt, or procrastination, you'll never even start your spiritual journey. It's why Paul told Timothy, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." 2 Timothy 1:7. Fear is static friction in the soul. You want to pray, but you freeze. You want to forgive, but bitterness glues you down. You want to take that step of faith, but you feel like your feet are nailed to the ground. Let me paint a picture you probably know all too well. Setting an alarm for 5 a.m. with the noble intent of spending time in prayer. Morning comes, your alarm blares, and suddenly the bed feels like a 1,000-pound couch. You tell yourself, just 5 more minutes. Next thing you know, it's 7 a.m. and you're rushing to work without a word to God. That's static friction at its finest. Not dramatic, not loud, but quietly stubborn. The resistance that keeps you lying down when you should be rising up. Here's the trick in physics. Once you overcome static friction, kinetic friction takes over, and that's usually less than static. Translation, the hardest part is starting. After that, momentum carries you forward. Think about prayer again. The first 5 minutes might feel impossible, your mind distracted, your body resisting, but once you break through and start talking with God, suddenly an hour passes, and you wonder why you ever resisted in the first place. This is why Hebrews 12:1 says, "Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." The writer knew about friction before physics put numbers to it. Everything that hinders is basically static friction, invisible, sticky forces keeping you from stepping into God's momentum. The call is simple. Push past the first resistance. But here's a twist. Static friction isn't always bad. In physics, it's actually the thing that allows us to walk. Without it, your foot would just slide backward as soon as you tried to step forward. Static friction is what grips the ground so you can push off and move. Without resistance, we wouldn't have traction. Spiritually, the same principle applies. Some resistance is necessary for growth. If life had no static friction at all, you'd slip through it without ever learning perseverance. James 1:3 says, "The testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Resistance builds strength. So how do you overcome destructive static friction without losing the good kind? First, identify your couch moments. What area of your life feels too heavy to budge? Is it prayer? Forgiveness? Starting that project God put on your heart? Second, apply consistent pressure. Physics teaches that static friction doesn't care about one random shove. It cares about sustained force that eventually breaks through. Spiritually, that looks like daily prayer even when you don't feel it. Reading one verse a day even if you're tired. Whispering one thank you to God even when your heart is heavy. These tiny pushes add up and suddenly break through. Let me tell you about a friend I once knew. He wanted to start leading a Bible study, but fear held him back. Week after week, he said, maybe next time. That's static friction, the devil whispering, not today. Finally, he gathered 3 friends in his living room and just started. The first meeting was awkward, clunky, full of pauses, but he broke through. 2 years later, that living room Bible study grew into a thriving community. All because he pushed past the static friction of fear and let momentum take over. And isn't that the story of David and Goliath too? Everyone else in Israel's army was paralyzed, stuck, at rest, unable to move. Goliath was the static friction standing in their way. But David, armed with faith and a sling, applied enough force to break through. And once the giant fell, the entire army gained momentum. Sometimes all it takes is one person willing to push past resistance to inspire others to move too. Here's the bottom line. Static friction will always try to convince you that you can't start, that you're too weak, too late, too stuck. But physics and the Bible both agree, once you overcome that first hurdle, momentum carries you forward. The devil's greatest weapon is not the fight itself, it's keeping you from stepping into the fight at all. So the question is, where are you stuck? What part of your life has been on pause for too long? And what tiny, consistent push could break you free today? Because once you move, you won't just slide, you'll run.